This is part 26 of ASP.NET MVC tutorial. In this video, we'll discuss customizing the auto-generated index view. Please watch part 25 before proceeding with this video. From part 25, if you recollect, this index view is auto-generated. I want to make a few customizations to this index view. First of all, I want to change the font to Arial and set a border to this table. Let's quickly make those two changes. Let's flip to Visual Studio. Let's get to index view, and then to change the font style, I'm going to use a div tag and set the style attribute and specify font family as Arial. Okay, so this should change the font family, and then we also want to set the table border. So here is the table tag. Let's use the border attribute and set that to 1. So with these two changes, let's run this. So there we go. We have Arial font, and then we have a border for the table. Now look at the column names here. Here on this view, we are displaying employee name, gender, city, and department name. But look at the column headers. For the employee name, it's using name, and for department name also it's using name. Now instead of name as the header for department column, I actually want to change it to department name. First of all, let's understand how these column headers are generated. So let's flip to Visual Studio. So this is the index view, and look at this. This is the piece of code that's rendering the column names. For example, if you look at the employee column header, it's name for the first column. So here we are saying model.name. So what is the model object for this view? So if you look at that, it's actually employee object. Now if you remember, we have not written this employee class. This employee class is auto-generated for us from this table TBL employee. And if you look at the column names here, we have column names as employee ID, name, gender, city, and department ID. But then if you look at the column names here, the exact column names are appearing on the view as well. Okay, so basically this employee class is auto-generated. The column names on the table are used as properties of this class. So let's right click on this employee class and select go to definition. So this class definition is actually in this employee data model.designer.cs. And where is that file present? Look at this. The file is right here. So this is auto-generated. Okay, so if you navigate up the file, look at this, it's auto-generated for us, and we have the employee class there, and you can notice all the properties within that employee class. So that's the employee class right here, and then we have several properties in this employee class: employee ID, name, and then gender. We have all the properties, and notice the property names, they match the column names. And then this class has also got department property. Look at how the department name is generated. So if we go back to index view, the department column name, look at that, this model object, which is nothing but the employee object. It has got a department property which is going to return a department object, and that department object has got name property. Okay, so within employee class we should have department property. So do we have that department property within that employee class? Let's find that out. So we have gender there, and then we have city, and then look at this, we have a section called navigation properties within the employee class, and then there we have the department property which is returning a department object. So again, in this file we also have a department class. So if I right click on that and go to definition, so I have a department class here which should contain properties for ID and name. So if you look at the department table, it has got two columns, ID and name. So those two columns will be created as properties within that department class. So here is the ID property, and then if we scroll down, there should be name property as well. Okay, so since we have the column names within employee and department as name, for both employee name and department name, within the auto-generated class also the properties are generated as names, and that's what is being used on this index view. Okay, so obviously now there are several ways we can fix this. You can change the column name and regenerate the classes, the employee and department classes. But let's say I don't want to do that. Okay, the other way is to actually customize the employee class. Now, can I apply customizations to this file? No, we can't. Why? Because this file is auto-generated. So if we do any customizations to this file, if this class is auto-generated in the future, we are going to lose all those changes. That's why we have to do, our customizations in a separate file. And if you look at the way these two classes are implemented, that is the employee and department class, look at that. They are implemented as partial classes. So we can create another partial department class and apply our customizations there. So to this models folder, I'm going to add a class file and name that department.cs. And then this class is going to contain all the customizations. Okay, and to speed things up, I have this already typed, so let me copy and paste this right here. And then this metadata type attribute is present in a different namespace, system.componentModel.data annotations namespace. Okay, so what are we doing here? Look at this. We are creating the department class, and notice that we have decorated that with partial attribute. So this is another piece of department class. So now this class is decorated with metadata type attribute, and we are saying type of department metadata. So where is this class present? Right here. So I have created, department metadata, which is going to contain all the customizations. So here, look at the property within this department metadata. I have the property name as name, okay, which is exactly the same property in this auto-generated class. So if you look at this department class in this auto-generated file, we have this name property. Okay, so that's the property name. The return type is string, and that's what, look at the signature, it's exactly the same thing. But then here I'm using this display attribute and setting the name specifically to department name. Okay, so we're going to apply this customization to, the department class. So now instead of using name, as the proper column name, it's going to use department name. So let's compile the solution and run our project and see if the department name is actually changed. So look at that, we get the column header as department name. Similarly, if you want to change this to employee name, you can apply the same customization to another employee partial class. On this slide, you can find resources for ASP.NET, C# and SQL Server interview questions. That's it for today. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.